Oh, yes, Lord. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only wanna feel. Come now and have your way. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we wanna know you more and more. Everything else can wait. When you speak, when you move, when you do it, only you can do. Changes us, changes what we see, and what we see. When you come in the room, when you do it, only you can do. Changes us, changes what we see, what we see. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only wanna hear your voice. Come now and have your way. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only wanna know you more. Everything else can wait. When you speak, when you move, when you do it, only you can do. It changes us, changes what we see, what we see. When you come in the room, when you do it, only you can do. Changes us, changes what we see, and what we see. Yeah, you're changing everything. When you move all our fears. When you move us to tears. When you move all our fears. When you move us to tears. When you fall, we fall on our knees. When you fall, we fall at your feet. When you fall, we fall on our knees. When you fall, we fall at your feet. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. Come now and have your way. I love that song. Because it's so true. Like, man, everything else can wait, because we are nothing without God. So it's like all these things that we think we may need and, think that defines us and think that validates us, those things that we think, but that don't really necessarily define who we are. That doesn't validate who we are. God validates who we are. Every inch of us, every aspect in our life, he defines who we are, and we need him. We can't live without him. So it's like everything else can wait. Everything else can wait, and everything we think we may need right now, he says no. Like, now is not the time for that. Now is not the time for the relationship. Now is not the time for a new thing to happen. Like, he does things at when he says it's time, not when we think Not when we think, we sometimes think like, oh, I'm ready for this, I'm ready for that. But God's telling us no, like I thought I was ready for a relationship. And every time I ended up in a relationship, it went downhill because it was not my time for a relationship. So it's like now I get that. So it's like I'm waiting. And, and I do get approached by guys, but then I tell them like, that's not where my focus is at right now. And I just be real and honest. I don't even try to start up anything because that's not where my focus is at right now. I'm not focused on a relationship right now. The only relationship that I'm focused on, honestly, right now is my relationship with God. And once that relationship continues to grow and continues to get better, then he will start allowing these other things to happen in my life when he feels I'm ready and when he says it's time. And I know we sometimes struggle with that because we think, oh, we need this and that to happen. We see other people and things happening for them in their lives. So it's like, well, when is my time, God? When is this going to happen for me? When am I going to get married? When am I going to buy my home, my first house? Or when am I going to have more kids? Or when am I going to start my business? When am I going to start this? When am I going to start that? Like, and I know it's so easier said than done sometimes about, asking him when this, why that. But we just have to continue to trust him. Like at the end of the day, it's all about trusting him and being patient and obedient to what he asks of us. It's just like growing up. Your parents, they give you freedom to do something because at a point in your time, at a point in your life when they feel like, okay, she's mature enough for this or he's mature enough for that, I'm going to give them that freedom and I'm going to step back. And that's how our relationship is with God. Like he has to feel like, okay, she's ready for this, so I'm going to give it to her, see what she does with it, and I'm going to step back and I'm going to fall back. And he's having me realize that like it's just like you're like a relationship with your parents. Like he's having me realize that, like, okay, say for instance, like growing up, we weren't allowed to go like out. Like there's a little shopping center near where we stayed. It's called Sand Hills. Like we weren't able to go like some of our friends, their parents allow them to go sometimes like on the weekend by themselves to the movies or get ice cream or something. But me and my sister, we weren't allowed to do that. And that's because my mom and dad felt like, okay, they're not ready for this. And yeah, we were mad because at that time we didn't understand. We just was like, oh, we can't never do nothing. We can't never go hang out with our friends. But it's like at that time, we didn't understand that. We just saw that, okay, they said no again. Because it was more than like we kept asking, like, can we go with our friends? No, you can't. But then it came a point in time, okay, well, I see them maturing. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're being obedient, first of all, doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to give them that freedom to do that and go with their friends. Just like when we, with the cell phone. Growing up, me and my sister didn't have a cell phone. All our friends had cell phones. We didn't have cell phones because my parents and I feel like, okay, the girls are ready for cell phones. And so when we finally got our cell phones, it was like cool, but then we would do things like with school, get in trouble with school or, get in trouble at home, and then we get those cell phones taken away. So it's just like the same thing. Like God will bless us with something, but we have to continue. That's the same thing we was doing in order to receive that blessing. We have to continue to do that same thing to keep it, because what he gives, he can easily take away if we're not being obedient to him, or we're not being obedient to what he has blessed us with. And that's just like, like what I said with the cell phone thing. Okay, they gave us the cell phone. We weren't doing what we're supposed to do, so the cell phone was taken away. Like, and it all has to do sometimes like with, being humble as well. Because everybody does not, some people don't start like from the top, don't start off successful. Everybody has to work their way up. And it's like, once you get to that point, where you want to be, don't forget where you came from. And it's all about being humble. Never forget where you came from, because you can easily go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happens sometimes. People get so big headed and so, I'm this, I'm that, because I got it. But you didn't always have that. And so when you get it, you're like, just like all out of control, and you forget like where you came from. Never forget where you came from. It's always good to be humble, and never forget what where you were at. Like last year for me, I was not working. Last year for me, my car got repossessed. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I was still in school, single mom, like taking care of Sophia, and then out of a job, like dependent, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not there anymore. And it's nobody but God, for the reason that I'm not there anymore. But it's like, we have to remember, like, just because he's moved us from that, don't forget where we've come from. That should make us humble. That should make us, want to keep growing closer to him. Like, look what he's done for me. Look what he's done for me. Look what he continues to do for me, even when my mind was nowhere focused on him. I wasn't even thinking about him, thinking about going to church, thinking about living right. But look what he still did for me. And and it's just such a blessing. And it's so humbling. Like, it seriously is. Like, yes, we still have our everyday struggles, but it's like your situation could be so much worse than what it is now. And yes, life gets in the way, but you always think my situation could be so much worse than what it is now. And you thank him for it not being that way. Thank him for the growth. Thank him for the come up. Like, seriously, because it's nobody but him. And just thank him for what's to come, because he's not finished. Like, he's not finished with you. He's not finished with me. This is just a little taste of what he's doing in my life right now. It's just a little taste of what he has to come for me and my family. And I just thank him so much just for his love, man. Like, for real, just for his love and what he continues to do. Even when sometimes I feel like he's not even, like he's not even moving in my life, or like, God, sometimes, like, where are you? Like, where are you? Because we all get to that point. Like, Father, where are you at? We all get to that point, and it's just... But we have to, even when we, find ourselves sometimes like looking and not like, seeing him physically in our lives, we have to still continue to trust him that he's still moving on our behalf. Because no, we may not see with our naked eye what God is doing. We still have to continue to trust in our hearts that he's still doing what he's promised us. No, it's not going to happen overnight. No, it's not going to happen when we want it to, but it's going to happen because he's promised that to us. His word does not come back void. So everything that God says that he will do, he has done it for us. But we just haven't gotten to that point yet. And it hasn't happened because he doesn't feel like necessarily right now is the time for it to happen. Like, we all go through our seasons, man. We all go through seasons. And right now we might not be in that season for things to, to start manifesting. But at the same time, like with myself, I had to do a heart check, like, for real. Cause it's like, well, God, you're telling me like all this and that, but what I don't see nothing happening. And so he told me to check me, because he's doing what he's done and doing, what he's already promised. But I have to check this heart, I have to check we sometimes have to check our heart. What are we not doing? What am I not doing to allow the manifestation to start happening in my life? And so, and I did that. I did just that. I did a heart check, and I came up with things like, You know, I could be doing more of this. I could be doing more of that. I'm not doing none of that. And so it's like, it's not always him. It's majority of the time it's us. Like, what are we not? Like, he's like, okay, I've already told you this. I've already promised you this. But what are you going to do to get to that? What are you going to do for you to see it like happen in your life with the physical eye? What are you going to do? Because sometimes we have to check our hearts. Like, what are we not doing in our lives that's not pleasing to God? Excuse me. Like, what are we not doing that's not pleasing to him? And I had to like, Jazz, I had to talk to myself like, what am I not doing? Like, I'm sitting here asking God, why this, why that? But it's like, and he told me, well, what are you doing? What are you doing different? We can't expect new things if we keep doing the same old thing. Doing the same old thing it's not growth. It's just a cycle that's repeating, something that you're comfortable in. Sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zone for things to happen in our lives. And I have to get so far out of mine, like with doing these videos and even singing and all that, for things to start happening in my life. Like, I never saw myself doing this, but I'm doing them faithfully and obediently because it's what God's asked of me. Like, this is what I want you to do. Like, encourage other women. But at the same time, I'm encouraging myself along the way, because you never know what your testimony, who it may affect, or who may have gone through that, or who may be going through that and don't feel like they have somebody to come to, and or somebody that can relate, or somebody that will understand. That's the whole point of us, sharing our testimonies, not for ourselves, but for the others out there that may relate to that, or that may feel like, I'm not the only person going through that. Because sometimes people go through things and feel like, it feel like they're the only one that, stuff like this happens to, and that's not the case. Or they feel like they don't have anybody to talk to because they don't have anyone that can relate to that. And so that's why he's wanting me to do these videos, and for me, like, to be honest, like, when I first started, I was like, well, nobody probably gonna really watch them, and just all these things, just negative things I'm just going to say that the enemy has tried every reason that he's given me to try to talk me out of not doing these videos. I was like, no. At first I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not about to put my business out, out to the world like that. And so for like months went by, I kept ignoring what God was telling me to do. Like, Jazz, do these videos, and I'm constantly like giving him my no, like coming up with every excuse, everything, every excuse as to why I can't do it. I don't have time to do it. What days am I going to do it? I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know, how many people are going to watch. I don't know how I'm going to sound singing, because I'm telling myself, I'm not a great singer. So people are going to talk about my singing, but it's like, he's like, don't worry about none of that. Do what I asked you to do. And so I started recording my videos, and doing these videos has really, like, I've grown so confident, like, in myself, and just talking to others, and just, reaching out to others, and it's just like so amazing. So we have to, sometimes for things to happen in our lives, we have to get out of our comfort zones. Like, we have to, and we have to do heart checks, because we always come to God like, God, why isn't this happening? Why is this happening for them but not for me? But it's like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing, or what are you not doing? That is like of me, that I would want you to, what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we have to do heart checks, and we can't look at everybody else's lives. And that's another big thing. Like, we can't look at what other people, how other people's lives go, because you don't know their situation. You don't know how they got there, or don't know what they went through. Like, we can't sit and judge our lives based off how other people's lives are going, because then you're really gonna find yourself miserable, trying to keep up with somebody else's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on you. Like, what are you here for? Oh my gosh. So this is like a side note. What's today? Today is Saturday. Yes, Thursday? Yesterday. Friday. We had a new patient at work. New patient. Never met this man a day in my life. And he was such as sweet as he can be. Like he was an older guy, just so sweet. He was like maybe 70 something, 60 something. Sweet guy. But so he came in the office. I brought him back, and we just started talking. I don't even know how we got on the topic, but I was let me see. I was going over his medications or whatever. And he was started talking about his wife and how he's on one medication and she's on all these medications. And then he started, I honestly can't even remember how it happened, but he started ministering to me, like telling me, you're here for a reason, and was like, and he was like, everybody is here for a reason. He's like, you are here for a reason. You have a purpose. And it is so crazy because earlier that week, like when me and Kenya went to lunch, she was telling me like the same thing. Like, everybody is here for a purpose. Like, and once we find that purpose, we use it. We share it with others to help uplift and encourage others. And this is basically what my patient was saying to me. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I wanted to just really just break down and cry in front of this man, like for real, because it was like, oh my gosh. And I just knew, and after I got done talking to him, I just was thanking God like so much, because I just knew it was confirmation from him. And it was just crazy. Like, he was like, everybody is here for a purpose. You're here for a purpose. He was like, and you will, like, you doing what you're doing will help others. And I was just like in such awe. And he was like, well, you got me talking. Like, I say, no, like, I really appreciate you sharing like with me. Like, I told him, like, I appreciate you doing that, because I was like, I really needed to hear that. Like, even though I just heard it earlier that week, like, I really needed to like hear that. And it was just so amazing. And it's crazy how God uses people we don't even know. I've never met this man a day in my life, and he's sitting here telling me, all these things. And it's just like so amazing how he just uses people and speaks through people to us. And I just thank him for being obedient and sharing with me, because he didn't have to come in there and tell me none of that, but he was obedient and he shared with me. And it was just so awesome. And and that's just how much God loves us, man. That's just how much he loves us. He's using people we don't even know to minister to us. And it's just so amazing. It's so amazing. And it's just nothing but his love. And I'm telling you, like, it's just awesome. But yeah, so he was just saying like our purpose, because we are all here for a purpose. Everybody is put on this earth for a reason. And the only way we can find our true purpose is trusting in God. That's the only way we can find our true purpose, our true calling is in God. Because he defines who we are. So it's important to have a relationship with him, because things that we thought, okay, this is the career path I thought I was going on, but God says, oh no, you thought wrong. This is what I want you to do. So it's like, and it's just, it's so crazy. Like, it's really like so crazy, but well, I shouldn't say it's crazy, but it's just like awesome. It's awesome. Like, it is. And it's like me working like in my career now. I've always been the type of person that's shy, like timid, afraid to talk to people. I don't know why, but I've always been that person. And so it's like now me working with patients every day, I'm finding myself like this is like, I'm finding myself like being more confident because I have to interact with these people. Like, yeah, I'm putting your stuff in the computer, but at the same time, I'm still like, I still have to have small talk. And I always had a problem with having small talk with people. And it's crazy because like now when I tell somebody like I'm such a shy person, they're like, really? I don't see that. And it's nobody but God. Like, it's just awesome. It's nobody but him. They was like, you're shy? Because it's like, man, like, it's just what he's doing within me, man. And it all starts in here. Like, it all starts in here. It all starts in here. And people will see it. Like, people will see it. Like, you can't pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are really good at reading people. Like, they can see, like, oh my gosh. They can see this, like, your heart. They can see how genuine your heart is and your spirit. They can see, like, people can really see that. So like, it all starts in here. Like, if you don't have like good intentions or a good heart, people can tell. Like, if you have, people can tell. So it's like really important. It's really important. Like, it all starts in here. Like, and you could put on the makeup and put on the weave and the clothes and whatever to try to cover up. And that was me for a long time. Like, oh, I need to put on this. I need to. But it was like, no, like, because all that matters is what's in here. Like, stop trying to care. Stop trying to put on this outer appearance, caring how people think because what you got on and because your hair and your nails are done. Like, no, it's about what's in here. And God has shown me that as well. Like, because I used to be real big on, I need to keep my nails and my hair done. And I need to have all the cutest outfits and as many shoes as I could possibly have. But it's like, no, none of that is important. None of that defines who Jasmine is. None of that truly defines who I am. My heart defines who I am. My relationship with God defines who I am. God defines who I am from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. He defines every inch of me, from the color of my hair. He knows the number of strands on my hair, from the color of my skin, from my smile. Like, he defines every inch of Jasmine. And we have to, once we get to that realization, like, this world does not define who we are, ladies, and this world has nothing to offer us. Men don't define who we are. The relationship does not define who you are. Men don't validate who we are. Once we get to that point, you will start, I promise you, like, just from my own experience, you will start to feel so much better about yourself. And it all starts with loving ourselves first. And that's what God told me. You have to love yourself first before you can love a man. You know what I'm saying? How can I love a man and be in a relationship and I don't even love me? Like, I'm not even confident in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly picking out my flaws and what I can't do and talking down on myself. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, not confident in who Jasmine is, but then trying to be in a relationship with somebody. And so the insecurities start to come about. We can't do that. Like, it's impossible to truly love somebody if you don't love yourself and if you don't have a relationship with God. Like, our relationship with God should be the most important thing. It should be first before a relationship with a man. And I mean, and that's true. And that's what God is showing me. And that's what he showed me. And so it's like, and it's true. And it's true. And I know sometimes it's crazy because as women, we think, okay, we need to be with somebody to be happy. But being in your singleness is like exciting. Like, it's exciting. Like, it is. Like, yes, it has its downs, but it's like you're at peace. Like, man, who this is what I'm like. I would honestly rather be single than in a relationship and be miserable and not happy and insecure and having to blow up the phone or having to pop up and having to do all this extra stuff that don't even need to be done. Because yes, that used to be me. I used to do that, but God. And it's like, I would rather be single? Because you're so much at peace, man. You're so, and I promise myself, like I've said this before, I promise myself I will not allow no man to steal my joy or my peace or my happiness, none of that away from me ever again. Like, for real, I'm not losing. I've lost myself in relationships before thinking I needed to be with somebody. Like, I promise myself never going back. I'm never going back to that again. And ladies, we have to get to that point. Like, we have to start with loving ourselves. Like, we have to. Like, you don't need to be with nobody to be happy. All you need is God. Like, he makes me happy every day. Every day he makes me happy because I know he loves me and I know he cares for me and I know that he has all these wonderful things planned for me, and eventually when it's time, he will bless me with the man and he will bless me with the husband. But right now, he's saying that's not time for Jasmine. And I did try to go back and talk to an ex, and that didn't work out. It maybe lasted for a few days. And I was just like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, it's just crazy. It's like, God's like, girl, what are you doing? Did I tell you to do that? And so we just have to continue to trust him. We just have to continue to have faith in him. And remember that he's always moving, even though we don't see it or may not feel like it. He's always there and he's always moving on our behalf. And though you may feel like, he took you out of a situation, but you're hurt by him taking you out of that situation, it's because it was for your own good. Like, it was for your own good. It was for your own good. And we have to realize that. Like, don't look at it as if a loss, but look at it as a gain. Because obviously, whatever that you thought you needed was pulling you back from the purpose that God has over your life, from the calling that God has over your life. And he wants you to get you to that point. He wants you to he wants to get you to that glory, to that victory, to that very thing you're praying for him about. Like, you're praying like, God, I want this to happen for me. God, I want this to happen for me. He's like, okay, well, I got to move some people and some things out of your life to get you there. So are you willing to trust me, or are you wanting to hold on to these things that's keeping us down? And I was like, I'm not holding on nothing that's keeping me down. I'm trying to go up here. Like, I got a child I got to care for. And it's not about me no more. It's about me and Sophia. I have to care for my child. So anything else that it means no good to me can go. It can go. Like, seriously, it can go. And I used to be so hurt about, if somebody didn't want to talk to me no more, or if I lost this relationship or that. Honestly, nowadays, I do not care, because obviously you were not meant to be in my life. And that's the God honest truth. Obviously, God had other plans and you were not part of those plans. And it's no disrespect to anybody, but we have to realize that, like, these people, okay, we've been friends for such a long time, or we were dating for such a long time, but God had other plans. Now, whose plans are you wanting to go with? Are you wanting to go with your own plans that you thought, you had everything mapped out and together, or are you going to trust in God? Like, who are you going to go with? Jasmine takes several seats, because I trust in the Father that, I trust in him. Like, so I'm just going to sit back, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for us to sit back, but Jasmine, sit down. That's what God says. He's like, sit down, girl. Trust me, girl. I got you. I keep showing you. Like, he keeps showing me, y'all. He keeps showing me, like, girl, I got you. But then I want to keep getting in the way. Like, we can't keep getting in the way. Like, we have to trust the Father and just trust that he's moving on our behalf, and he will continue to move on our behalf. And ladies, I just encourage you all just to trust in God. Like, trust in him. It's okay to be single. It's okay to be single. It is. It's okay to be single. But I really enjoyed this video today. Like, I really did. Like, I'm just in such a good mood, even though, despite things that are going on in life, we have to continue to be like to be happy. And no, it's not pretending, but just count it all joy. Count it all joy. Like, okay, yes, this may be happening, but at the end of the day, I serve a mighty God that is not going to leave me where I'm at. He is going to take me from this. We're not going to stay here. So I'm going to walk around with a smile on my face. Yes, I'm going to walk around in a good mood, ready to encourage and ready to do what he wants me to be obedient, because I know I'm not staying right here. And so, lady, we have to trust the Father, trust him. And I just hope you all enjoyed my video today. I pray everybody has a blessed rest of their day and a blessed rest of the week. Continue to trust in God. Remember, he defines who we are. He validates who we are. And most importantly, remember that he's always there for us. He's always moving and on our behalf, and we have to trust him. We are women warriors of God. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.